Some time back, after I finished the psychology series, Asymmetrical Warfare pointed out that I'd made a mistake in it. In the series, I said that the borderline was the most dangerous sort of personality, Schedule 2 personality disorder that you'll run into. But more accurate would be to say it's the most dangerous for me, because I'm a choleric. And so he pondered, and I've had other people ask this in the other videos, if there might be certain types of certain humors are most predisposed to being exploited by particular personality disorders. And you know what? I think that is the case. And the interesting thing is, as I said, I've been thinking about it, and what you find is actually the shape of the Manan rune of the directions where people are most susceptible. So my goal with this video is to describe which personality disorder is most dangerous to each temperament, and also explain why. So we might as well move in a clockwise motion, starting with the melancholic. So the melancholic, as I'm sure you recall, is the introvert that likes new situations. They're the person that loves showing up to the party. It's Michelangelo. And so the guiding goal in the melancholic's life is to find somebody that will start a party, start a movement that they can join. And so for the most dangerous personality disorder, in this case, the narcissist. This is what it boils down to. The narcissist likes to form cults of personality. The melancholic likes to be part of a team. They want a personality that they can be loyal to. And so when you get a narcissist creating this fake movement, this fake belief system, other people will eventually realize that the narcissist is being a fake, that they have no real plan, they have no real movement. The melancholic will never realize that. They will follow the narcissist off the cliff. Then you have the sanguine. Sanguine, of course, being Raphael, is they're an extrovert that likes new situations. They don't tend to deeply analyze the things around them. They're not a mechanical type of thinker. And because they don't analyze things so deeply, for the sanguine, it is the histrionic that is the most dangerous. What the histrionic does, remember, is the histrionic needs a constant source of drama. They need their environment to surround them with a maelstrom of passion. And so they start arguments between other people. They instigate problems. And so for a sanguine, they don't tend to really analyze people that deeply. Raphael's interested in doing what he's going to do. He's not going to analyze what the other Ninja Turtles' motivations are. He's not that interested in why they're doing things. And so if he sees arguments around him, he'll try and settle them, but he's not really going to dig deep into it. And so the histrionic, starting these constant, unending, ceaseless arguments around him, he never notices. Never notices what she's doing. The other personality types, eventually they'll get sick of it. They might not quite realize what she's doing, but they'll say, it's like, you start an argument wherever you go. No, I don't. It's other people arguing. No, you're starting the argument. Sanguine won't realize that. Sanguine, you need to point out to the sanguine that they're hanging out with a histrionic person, because left to their own devices, they'll just see an isolated argument. They're not prone to mechanical, analytical thinking in that manner. Now, the choleric, as I said, what really drives the choleric is essentially we're driven to shove our noses into other people's business. When we see a problem, we want to fix it. Leonardo, the leader personality type. What's going on here? What's the malfunction? How can I help? You know, if one of our friends is feeling down, we want to go take them out and say, hey, what's wrong? Okay, you need to get laid. We're going to take you to the bar. We're going to get you laid. We're constantly driven to analyze people and talk to people and fix problems. which can be really irritating, by the way, if you don't want your problem fixed. So the choleric, the reason they're so susceptible to the borderline is because the borderline is essentially an unending problem. It's a riddle that can never be fixed. There's always another layer to the riddle. The borderline is never going to be well. And so the choleric can just fall into a pit trying to help this person. Which is why, as a choleric, a borderline almost destroyed me. And finally, you've got the phlegmatic. The Donatello. The person that wants to be, they want to be part of the team. They want to be a useful contributing member to the team. But they don't want to be in charge. They're mechanical thinkers and they're introverts. Being around too many people, talking to a lot of people, tends to drain their energy. And so what they want is a very good leader that can take care of anything, that can direct them, can give them a mission. Somebody, they need the Sanguine will initiate the party, and the Choleric make sure the party, goes well, that everybody's being satisfied. And so for the phlegmatic, it's the sociopath that's the most dangerous. Because the sociopath, essentially they're extremely controlling, and they'll tell you that they have a plan, but their plans, they don't have that coherent humanity in their soul. They don't actually value anybody. A true leader values everybody. Make sure that everybody else is having fun, that they all have a role to play, they all belong. The sociopath pretends to do that, but doesn't actually care about anybody. And so we have here the phlegmatic. And because they like analyzing mechanical things, but they're not as prone to analyzing people. They don't want to think about what direction the organization is going. The choleric person comes up with a mission statement. They think, yeah, that's a good mission statement. What do I need to do? I do this. All right, good. Just, you take care of that mission statement. Make sure we're headed somewhere. And so when the sociopath lies about having a mission statement, the phlegmatic is very prone to not realizing that. They never look at it deeper. And so what can happen with the phlegmatic is they become completely aligned with the sociopath, who bit by bit, uses them and manipulates them and cuts off the other parts of their lives. And when they finally realize the damage the sociopath has done, they have no friends left, and they're left extremely isolated. So that is what you need to look out for. Depending on what sort of personality type, if you're not a choleric, borderlines aren't going to be that dangerous to you. Of course, they'll still cause problems in your life. They'll still be disruptive. They'll still be annoying, and they'll upset your friends. But there's going to be a particular type of disorder that you are most vulnerable to, that you are blind to. So as a choleric, if I find out that somebody has a history of borderline disorder, and you know what, they're not necessarily a clinical borderline as I've described. They could have been through a traumatic event. And so they act out because they're really messed up inside. But they're not fundamentally a borderline. They're just somebody that suffered trauma. Nonetheless, I do not trust myself around borderlines. And so if you are a phlegmatic, make sure that somebody that you're letting into your life, girlfriend, an important friend, make sure they're not a sociopath. Get other people to look out for you in this, because it goes against your nature to be aware of the problems in these people. Now, this is a different topic, but I think it's something that needs to be included. Because it was, again, Asymmetrical pointed this out, that he is an introverted person. He's not an extrovert, he's not a leader type, and he has no interest in being a leader type. And this present society of everybody's special, everybody needs to be their own bright, shining star, we're all magical. basically we celebrate the leaders, the cholerics, and the emotional divas, the sanguines. We celebrate extroverted people, and we denigrate introverted people. And I was reading a great blog by The Badger, and I'm going to link below to that, where the Badger, he has a lot of game. He picks up a lot of girls. He knows how to get along in social situations. But he's an introvert. He doesn't like being around strangers. Me? I'm an extrovert. I'm driven to just, if somebody's doing something stupid and I don't even know them, I'm driven to go call them an asshole for that. I shove my nose into other people's business, even when it doesn't belong, okay? Being an extrovert isn't innately good. It just means that I am driven to go deal with people all the time. And so he loves great conversation with people that he knows or people that are interesting, but a really crowded party with lots of people, he doesn't want to be the social butterfly. He wants to be the person that hangs back and watches it. Introverted is not the same thing as shy. Shy means that you have an irrational fear of public situations, that you get irrationally fearful. You feel like you're being put on the spot. If any of you have ever done public speaking, a certain amount of shyness is natural. The first time you drive, it's a little bit scary. First time you do public speaking, your knees will probably shake a little bit. You'll be really nervous, even if you're an extrovert. But shyness as a pathology, as a problem that you need to work through, is when you feel irrationally so, where it becomes a phobia. The same way I've seen arachnophobes that would start crying if there was a spider in the room. And if you're that arachnophobic, then you should probably get over that too. But it's not the same thing as introversion. Introverts can be extremely charismatic. Introverts can pick up women easily. They can learn game. Different types of personalities are probably going to use slightly different game. For instance, the club scene is probably best for the sanguine. It's sanguine, or even the melancholic. Because the club scene, it's chaotic, it's loud, you don't have long conversations. Whereas the phlegmatic and the choleric, I'm definitely more driven to the bar scene. I like to have conversations. I like to study people. I like an environment that I can analyze and predict, not something that's completely chaotic. But again, it doesn't mean I can't enjoy riding a motorcycle. Okay, being terrified of new experiences versus liking to be in control. They're two different things. So if you are phlegmatic, if you're melancholic, or if you're sanguine, it's not a knock on your personality. There is no best sort of personality. And we can all get better at everything. We can all be less shy. We can all be more confident. We can all be a bit more daring. Don't hate yourself for what you are, is basically what I'm getting at. And don't listen to the bullshit from people that say that you need to be a bloody idiot, like Kim Kardashian. Arini out, folks.